first book of contemporary queer stories to come out after the decriminalization of homosexuality by India's High Court. It's 30 stories from all over the country, rural, urban, all parts of India. There are even some translated stories from Oriya, from Tamil. This video will give you a taste of some of the stories in the narrative.
We have two writers who are not in Bombay. Everybody knows Srini, right? Well, he went to Berlin and came back as Karishma. So Karishma is going to read Srini's part. And then we have another writer who's in Malta, but he just left. So Harish Iyer will read his part.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. The narrative is about two characters, a husband and a wife. And the entire story is written in their voices. These two people are actually right now in a hospital room. They're waiting for a certain surgery to get over. Their child is going through male to female sex change surgery. And the husband and wife are in different stages of acceptance about the child. She was sitting next to me now. How long did the doctor say? 6 hours, I think. How long has it been? A little over 2. Have you been awake all this while? I tried to sleep. I lie. I have long given up on sleep. I don't even try now. While my husband sleeps in peace, I'm walking through every inch of this damned hospital. As I walk back, there is the maternity ward to my left. A smiling nurse announces to me, a healthy baby boy and a healthy baby girl today. I say a prayer in my heart. Almighty, if you must, give them some normal problems in life. Education, career, heartbreak. Please pick some problems which their poor parents will be able to handle. Right opposite to the maternity ward, to my right, are the operation theaters. I stop. In one of these, my son is being killed. I brought him into this world, and now I have no say in his world. All he can care for is himself. All of a sudden, I feel within me a burning urge to run into that operation theater and scream. The next moment, my knee buckles and my heart sinks. Quiet, I walk back to the room where my husband lay asleep. I'm sick of you being Mr. Know-It-All. I'm sick and bloody tired of it. This is good for you, that is right for him. For once, can you stop to hear what others want? What they think is right? I'm listening. What do you think is right? I don't know. I don't know what is right. I just know that this isn't. What is the alternative? There he goes again. Now he'll try to trap me with his logical arguments about psychology and morals and the ideal society. Has the heart ever known logic? I don't want an alternative. There can't be an alternative to my son. Okay, let me make this clear to you once and for all. We never had a son. It was a mistake. She was always a girl. We never had a son. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Danish. He's come from Bangalore for this, and the interesting part for us, I think, is that he actually dealt with the Supreme Court 377 hearing and was parked in Delhi for 2 months. So if you have any other questions about 377, so please corner him later.
Judgment Day. I'm sitting in the class. I feel the buzz of a new message on my phone, but I won't check it yet. I know what it will be about, of course. Today's the day, it's 10:45 a.m., the court's open, and yes, I know what it's about, all right. If I check it now, things change. As long as I don't look back, I can revel in this glorious uncertainty, and I hold on to the moment. The news has been relayed all around. There is spontaneous applause. My manic grin continues unbroken, and the professor inquires about the cause of our commotion. 377's been struck down, sir. Someone misanswers, but I'm not going to point out legal nuances at this moment. Everyone gets the point. The professor gives us congratulations even as the applause gives way to excited chatter. This moment is real. This moment is happening. I think we need to have more conversations. If the Supreme Court appeal is overturned and if we find ourselves once more in the margins of the law, we'll need to fight. But if the appeal is upheld, if we continue to remain legal citizens, we need to fight just as hard. We need to make sure this darn homosexuality business is talked about to death in the university, in the workplace, on television, to make people as tired of seeing a constant queer presence as they possibly can be. We need to be unabashedly loud, unapologetically obnoxious, and while we're at it, remember to dress fashionably. But really, most importantly, more than anything else, we need to keep telling our stories. Thank you.
The story is called Nimbuda, based on the song from Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, which was a Hindi movie a couple of years ago. Over the throng and bustle of Muhammad Ali Road, the call for Maghrib prayers rang out. Next door to the butcher's shop, the high notes of the song Nimbuda Nimbuda throbbed in blasphemous competition. Behind the green arched window stood Aslam in a state of flux. His mind flitted from the somber tones of religious faith to working out his look for Saturday night. Aslam tossed off his once turquoise towel and shook out his crowning glory. Nothing and no one, not even Aslam's dearly deceased father, had ever managed to get the better of the hair situation. Right from the time Aslam had been a baby, he had been adamant about wearing his hair long. Monthly visits to the barber proved to be traumatic. Aslam's father would be forced to leave with the shrieking lad in tow, and the whispering neighbors would have more grist for their gossip mills.
With the next summer vacation came the chance for Prasanna and his mother to visit Karthik's family in Vizag. 8 wonderfully sunny days, swept by the moist, cool winds of the Bay of Bengal, in an engineer's bungalow with Lata Mami, Karthik, and Karthik's father. Ramani, who was busy at work, visited only on the weekend. Under the mosquito nets, Prasanna and Karthik played with each other's rats. Karthik's now grew to a bigger size once in a while, not as big as Ravi Mama's, but still fun. With the other kids in the neighborhood, they trekked through the market and over the small hill, bursting croissant seeds and munching wild berries. Lata Mami sang in concert at the local community hall, and Karthik accompanied her on the mridangam. At December holidays, Ravi was again wearing the brown beads, dressed in purple and black this time. The colors indicated a more mature pilgrim, and not sleeping with Jayanti in the marital room as a fasting Sabarimalai pilgrim. Yet lying next to Prasanna was not a problem. Prasanna discovered that Ravi could use his rat for more than just play. He would push Prasanna's head below to mouth it, which the boy wouldn't be able to do properly since his mouth was small. A couple of times, Ravi seemed to piss while playing or in Prasanna's mouth, but the pee was sticky and weird tasting. Over the next few years, Prasanna learned about being a hormonal adolescent, mood swings, hair growth, muscles, vigor. He learned the basics of oral sex with Sasi from the neighborhood, practiced them with another Deepak from school, and discussed semen and shaving with the pubescent boys in class. He knew there were others who could play with each other's erect penises, and he stopped calling it a rat. Biology class had helped. He still liked boys, and the fact that he was now in a boys' school gave him plenty of opportunities to watch Sandeep, Neela, or Satya change into their National Cadet Corps uniform after school. Bankim was a hot guy, Vipin was not, and Bhavik was the sluttiest one, trying to shag everyone in the class he could lay his hands on. When Prasanna was 14, Karthik came to visit. Prasanna decided to tell him the long-kept secret. I've done this with Ravi Mama, too. Maybe you should also do it with him. The thought excited Prasanna, but Karthik backed off. You shouldn't do such things with older people, not with Ravi. Don't tell anyone in the family about this or you'll get a scolding or a beating. Karthik's words kept Prasanna quiet. After the birth of Ravi Mami's first child, Janani, Prasanna thought perhaps the play was over. But then On a visit to the motorbike mechanic, Ravi Mama nudged him and Prasanna could feel his erection. Prasanna touched it. But then, thinking of Karthik's words, he withdrew. That was the last time he touched Ravi's penis.
This is an anonymous piece. We don't know who the author is, or rather Shobna knows who the author is. Your bloody beautiful eyes have got me drunk, Aman. Sushil Kumar spilled some of his scotch as he stretched his right arm towards the ceiling. Aman faked a laugh and directed Sushil to a couch nearby, where he knew the man would pass out soon. Aman lit a candle and stood staring at the moon in a balcony overlooking the sea. He could hear the soft roar of waves destroying themselves against the rocks on the shore. The balcony was only lit with large candles placed on one end. Aman walked to the opposite end and merged into the dark. These parties can be a bore. The stranger's voice had a slight English accent. NRI, thought Aman. Good. Oh, bullocks. I'm Rajvi. Rude of me to not introduce myself. The man smiled, extended a hand, and without waiting continued. So, what's a pretty boy like you doing out here? Rajvi's voice had taken a flirtatious edge. He gulped the rest of his champagne and pulled Aman by his waist closer to him, pressing his soft lips against Aman's. Aman didn't need a cue anymore. He kissed back, hard.
Today, I love to tell stories in a movie format. I mean, I don't consider myself a novel writer or a fiction writer apart from movies, really.
I tried when I was growing up, and there weren't any of these queer stories that I could find in popular culture around me. So I think one way of dealing with that was just writing stories myself, and I think it just, yeah. So I guess it just started from there, really.
I work in film, so it's just an extension of a creative kind of impulse. I heard about this story and I embellished it, and I couldn't really make a film on it, although perhaps it lent itself to a short film format. But it was a story that I wanted to tell, and I just wrote it for myself. And once I read about queer ink, I sent it just on a whim.
You must only have one word description for it. I think it's sex. Sex is good enough to write about, so he writes about it.